persistent store. We'll be covering JDBC. We'll be covering replication groups. And there's one more topic if I had discussed with you guys. One is JNDI. Just note all of them.
Okay.
And there was one more topic I think I told you guys in the last.
Yeah, there was session persistence in file and database.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it may not go as fast as other assignments when, because this is a little what do you call, a little more in depth, basically a little more complicated. You have to do 10 things in order to get a particular practicals successful and working.
Okay.
So we'll try to cope up with it. Okay. First of all, let me just tell you about persistent stores.
Okay.
Let me ask you guys early in the morning, but can you tell me what do you mean by persistent store?
Maybe a place where you store your data or something, like a database or something.
Okay, but what is the meaning of persistence?
Persistence is saving some information for good, even if everything goes offline, and like it's not lost if the server go down for something.
Right. So it's a permanent storage, not a temporary storage. Is persistent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I ask some questions before we get started?
Sure.
Okay. So here there was a question about we haven't learned logs yet, but is there something that allows us to clean up WebLogic roll-up logs, like whatever the WebLogic logs are, and then how to clean up those logs are?
Okay. Okay, so let me answer the first question. Click on servers and click on any server whose logging you need to monitor or you need to configure, basically. Click on any server like MS1. Okay. Now here there is an option called as rotation. Point number one, if the server by default, if the server is running in production mode, then this rotation policy of 500 KB applies, which means that when the log file becomes WebLogic log, becomes 500 KB in size, automatically it will be backed up and a new log file will be created. How many backups of such files of 500 KB would be created? Can you just scroll down? There will be count. So we can see the number count. It says 7 files to retain 7, right?
Yeah.
So limit the number of files. Okay. So it will be log 001, log 002, log 003. Same way it will get. This is for production, and this is something that is default. In development mode, the default is the log will never get rotated. It will only be rotated when your server is rebooted. So whenever you restart the server, a new log will be created. Otherwise, the log rotation policy does not take place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now, with that understood, we can also set the log rotation for development or production by configuring, this particular page that you see. You can rotate by size. You can also rotate by time. If you see, there is rotate by time as well. Can you just show that? So like if you want to rotate the log every 24 hours, which means a day, so it will rotate every day, okay? And stuff like that.
Okay.
Okay. So, okay, now there are several severities for logs. whereby you can log by error level, or you can log by debug level, info level. So there are different severities. So you can set the severity and the logging will happen accordingly. Yes, yeah, so minimum is basically debug, not even info. Okay, so minimum here it is given info. You can, if you log and edit, you will see all the different log levels. So the higher the log level, the slower the performance of the server, of course, because it has to do the job of logging too much information.
Right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
to a slight extent, okay, but in development mode, if you want to debug an issue, you are compelled to, lower the log levels, sort of. Okay.
Okay.
And what else? Now here it says redirect std out logging enabled. Yeah, this means that the JVM out, instead of writing to an out file, it will try to, the JVM will also log its output to the WebLogic log file.
Okay.
So that is what you can select here, and for the std out, and below is for the std ER error file, standard error and standard out.
Okay.
Which the JVM usually outputs in an out file or on the console will now go into the WebLogic logs if you check this. Okay.
Okay.
So
it has to do anything with the no hub, the command that we used. Will it impact what was?
Yeah, when you you can try that as an assignment, but I believe even if you run using the no hub, it will still be logged in the WebLogic log if you select this options.
Okay.
So you can select this option. You can try with no hub and see if the WebLogic log also is logging the JVM out where it says index.jsp, right? Called. So does it log that information in the WebLogic log as well? That's what you can go and check. Okay, makes sense.
Okay. And
so,
how to back up? So now this is like creating a rotating log. Like after every 512 MB, the log 1, then log 2 file will be generated depending on count you gave. So how to back up them automatically, or?
So basically, rotating the log is basically backing them up, right? Because if you change the files to retain to 100, there will be 100 files. And instead of 5 KB, you can make it 5 MB. So at every 5 MB, it will rotate. So with 100 files, it will go up to 5 GB of logs, which is an enormous log that you have. So, that is how you can do. But you can write a Unix shell script separately to, take these logs to some other directory, or, zip them, compress them basically using gzip command or some Unix command. So you can zip them and keep them for future reference.
Okay. So there is one more thing you explained that says like, if we had like more than one managed server and to check their logs, we were like jumping on 10 different machines to check the logs. Is there a way that you can check all these logs from one machine and instead of logging into 10 different machines? I think you mentioned.
I think I saw it here. See, under diagnostics. I may be wrong. But
No, Amir, what you're saying is in a way right, but see, I don't know if it even shows the server logs. It may be showing the domain log, maybe, or something else. But anyways, the whole point is, Amir, WebLogic console. I don't remember the current version, but once upon a time, probably 8-10 years back, when we had WebLogic version 8.1.
Okay.
So it used to claim that you can see the logs right in the console, right here. Okay, you can see the logs, and it did show up the logs, okay, in the console. But those logs are not sufficient. You have to realize that. If you want to check when this particular exception happened, at what time did it first happen? So this console will only show you the last 1,000 lines or something like that. But if you want to grep in the entire log and you want to find more data and you want a more refined search as to if there are 10 times this error occurred or 20 times this error occurred, So you can, grep for that error WC-L, which will give you the count of the number of times the error occurred.
Right.
All these features and powerful, debugging that you want to do with playing with the logs is something you cannot do through the console.
Okay.
So there is a way out, Ganesh. What you can do is you have Apache web server. Okay, this is not part of the WebLogic administration, but I'm just trying to tell you because you happen to ask. Okay, and the time permits us. But anyways, you have Apache, right? And Apache basically shows the session test application, because what you have done is in Apache you have configured the session test application and mentioned the WebLogic servers, right? Same way in Apache you can give a directory path on the Unix box in Apache, and what you have to do is, and you can give a name to it, like session test you gave, right? So similarly you have to give some context root, logs or whatever, and then you have to mention the path, directory path on the Unix box. So when you go to Apache, HTTP, the Apache IP, Apache port 80 of course, /logs, so automatically it will show you that Unix box directory, and that directory can be the log path directory right on your browser, inside your browser, and then you can click on any logs and you can view any logs, any property files, any files you can view, that that is basically readable on the browser itself. So like you visit Google Gmail.com, same way you can browse through, like you have My Computer, in My Computer C drive, D drive and stuff like that, right? And you can browse through folders inside it. Similarly, on the browser you will see the Unix box log folder. Inside that, whatever files are there, you can click, browse inside, come out inside a folder, go outside a folder, and you can view any log file. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so basically you said from the Apache web page, you just go instead of /login or something, you go /logs. That will take you to the log folder.
Yeah, but you will have to configure that /log directory, which means this /logs or whatever name you want to give maps to what directory on the Unix box. It maps to /app, /weblogic, /domain, /servers. So you have to give that path. So when you say /logs, it will show that folder, and then you can move inside that folder and see
that configuration will be in one of the Apache config file.
httpd.conf file for Apache.
Okay.
The same configuration file in which you already made changes, right, for loading the plugin and stuff like that. Make sense?
Okay. And let me see what else I have. So every time we deploy the application, it is always unzipped, right?
Yes.
Like, so WAR file is there?
Yeah, it is unarchived is a better technical word rather than saying unzipped.
Okay.
It is, okay, so this WAR, this ER, these are all archives. So you say it is unarchived.
Okay, it is unarchived. So, but if there is a WAR, what I noticed is it creates the directory called .war, and underneath it unarchives everything.
Okay. Yeah, that was basically a part of the assignment. What we can do is we can designate the next class only to the assignments, and we can discuss your findings and observations, and we can document that, and we can do that if you want.
Okay, sure. So there was one more question that if you want to delay it, we can do that, but let me mention you.
Because so, I remember we had given you a lot of assignments last time, and we not discussing the assignment is basically, then it is fruitless to actually give you an assignment. The purpose of the assignment is basically it is discussed and it is, completed stuff.
Right. This was actually not, I was not looking at assignment as such. This was while, while at work, I came up with this question, like, if I want to, move around the things. So there was, you mentioned there was a WebLogic.xml, there is a config.xml, web.xml. struts config.xml, of course, struts is part of your UI development framework. But when you have chance, we want to discuss this and understand what is different in all these config files.
So we already discussed what is different, and struts is basically a J2EE specific technology topology. So the XML file struts.xml basically helps tune that particular tool, basically like Hibernate tool you have, like you got EJBs, like you got this thing struts, you got strings. So all of them have their own XML so that you can tune this particular application level, tool basically to fulfill your application need. So this is basically all application layer XML files. I also told you about the WebLogic .xml. Web.xml is also big, but Web.xml is common across all J2EE applications, and it is basically the most necessary XML file, without which an application does not become a J2EE application. And some application may have struts, some may not. Like my application does not have struts. Session test does not have struts.xml. So those are application level XMLs. You can have as many XMLs as you want. You can have hundreds XMLs on the application level layer. Nobody is stopping you. Like you can have employee name and then you give the name, and you say employee ID and then you give the ID 4589, and then you say employee designation and you say tech lead, something like that. You put that in an XML file. You call it struts.xml. You call it whatever. So those are all XMLs that are more to do with your application functionality at the application layer. And the web.xml is of course the basic of them, which needs to be there. The other may or may not be there. Okay. At the server level, you've got the WebLogic.xml. Of course, the config.xml is more to do with the WebLogic domain configuration. It's an XML file which doesn't have to do with the application as such, but it's an XML file which has the domain configuration in order for the WebLogic server to manage correctly. So if you're adding a server to the cluster, you're removing a server to the cluster, the config.xml gets updated, and this is how a running server would adjust itself to the new changes that it has been exposed to. So at the server level, yes, the config. So we have discussed all these XMLs before. Yeah.
Okay. And real quick, what was the WebLogic.xml? I understood config, especially WebLogic.xml.
It's the XML that affects server level settings.
Like JVM?
No, not the JVM, but yeah, you can say in a way the JVM. Yes, the JVM, but more to do with the WebLogic API. So any web, like you have username and password, right, in WebLogic to log into the server. You can also set the session.test.application to use that username and password. So whoever says session test, he will be prompted for not the login username and password, but he will be prompted.
Looks like we lost him.
There was a Mercury JAAS config file. That was all application related. But there is a JAAS. I think that's authorization and authentication, right?
I think we lost Mathushan.
Oh, we lost him?
Yeah. Let's wait for him to come back.
Oh.
Did you get the point?
Yeah, we lost you for some time.
Yeah, so basically it's all the server level settings that it
Okay.
has.
Okay. And the example was, you said, what was the example we used?
Session timeout, you can set the credentials, admin server, username and password for any resource on the WebLogic console in the WebLogic domain basically. And there are other attributes also. As time goes ahead, as you do more and more practicals, hopefully you will have an encounter with playing with the, like cluster. The application should be deployed to the cluster or to a single server. Now, is it an application layer setting? Is it a server level setting, or is it an OS level setting? You tell me. Or is it a domain level layer setting?
It is domain layer. It is domain layer, I believe.
Domain level, okay. But so if you're deploying it, but what are you deploying the application to? Are you deploying the application to a domain, or actually you're deploying the application to individual managed servers? Domain is nothing but a set of XML files, configuration files, basically, that has the configuration of, what is there, how many servers, what port, what IP, stuff like that. But is the application getting deployed on a domain or on an individual managed servers? On the JVM of the managed servers, is that where the application
Managed servers,
managed servers, right? So, so whether the application should be deployed on a single server or a cluster of servers, would this be a server level setting or an application level setting?
It's a server level setting, I believe.
So server level setting. It's not an application level setting, because does the application even know what a cluster is? No.
No.
No. Right? Now when I gave you the session test application, does it know what a cluster is? No.
No.
Right? So web.xml, stores.xml, all these application XMLs have nothing to do with whether the application should be running on a cluster or a server. But does it have to do with the server? Because if you deploy it on a single server, the server should realize, okay, let me read the WebLogic.xml, because the WebLogic.xml says something with regards to me. So when the managed server MS1 reads the WebLogic.xml of session test application, it sees that there is a tag if replicated equal to true, which means that this application should be replicated, which means it should be deployed to a cluster, which means it is currently being deployed only to me, not to a cluster, which means I should not deploy it, which means it complains, you cannot deploy the application, please deploy the application to a cluster. And if you watch the previous recording, we made this change and then we were trying to deploy to a single server and it failed. Do you remember, guys? And then we deployed it to a cluster.
Yeah, I don't recall that, but I'll review the recording.
You can review the recording. A better suggestion, Amir, have that tag and try to undeploy the application and then try to deploy it to a single server. It will complain. You can do it right away.
Okay, so what's the tag name? Yeah, what's the tag name?
Don't ask me that. Okay, open the WebLogic.xml and check what the tag name is.
Okay.
Okay, so
and at that time I told you that this tag, because I remember Ganesh stopped me and he asked me, tell us about this tag. What is this tag? What are you adding? So at that time I told you about it. That this tag is forces the application to be deployed on a cluster and not on a single server. These were my words. I remember that. But anyways, so that particular tag by default makes the application do session replication if replicated equal to true, something like is true. That was the attribute. But by default it does session replication, that particular attribute in memory, not in a file, not in a JDBC. I said this session replication, primary and secondary session, can also be done in a file as well as in a database. I told you that, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Anyways. Okay, so you want to do it, you can do it right now, but let me.
Okay, so there was a so you said if you configure your application to get deployed in cluster, and then from console, for example, you try to deploy the application only on one of the server out of like 2 or 3, it will not let you deploy just to one server, you're saying?
Yes. In short, let me, just mark my words, because your statement should be unrefutable. You should just be careful around it. So now my statement is just read the words very carefully. The application, once you put that particular tag, the server, whichever server you're deploying the application to, has to be a part of a cluster, and the set of servers that you're deploying the application to should be a cluster of servers, not an individual server. So you will say, I deployed this to a cluster of 3 servers, plus I will target it to a 4th server which is not a part of the cluster. It will fail again. Which means you have to deploy it only and only to a cluster. Because, why it will fail? Because the 4th server, which is not part of the cluster, if the client hits that, the 4th server is not part of the cluster, so whom will it make the secondary server? It cannot make any secondary server to do the session replication. And if it cannot do the session replication, and the tag says that this application requires session replication because this tag says that it should be deployed to a cluster, and you need to have the secondary primary signs that we discussed going. So a single server will deployment to a single server which is not a part of the cluster, not just single, multiple servers which are not part of the cluster will fail. If you want, you can do that.
Okay. And I got that. My work machine is up. So if you guys want to take a look at that deployment file, it's basically it's a Python. I think it's a WLST command that takes the cluster and deploys it to the cluster as a argument. It takes a cluster as an argument and deploys it to the cluster.
Ganesh, I had shown you 7 different ways of deployment. In all the 7 different ways, I showed you for a single server. Wherever you are giving the name of the server, just change the name of the server to the name of the cluster, and it will deploy to the cluster. So not just WLST, you can use all those 7 ways to deploy to the cluster.
Okay. So here, as you say, now consider our application is a clustered application. Everything is configured under cluster. So I have 3 servers, and 3 servers are configured as part of the cluster. I deployed the application, and I'm checking my application. So when I check my application, it will be served from one of the managed server. Now I still see something wrong with one of the servers. So for example, I want to go back and only redeploy my application to that managed server. Is that possible?
You'll have to be a little bit more elaborate in what you're trying to say.
So what happened is I deployed.
Maybe listen, Ganesh, share your screen, draw a diagram, and then put forward your question.
I wish I could do that, but right now I don't want to take too much of time. But here is a simple case. I deployed application, and it's supposed to be deployed to all 3 servers. Now my application is...
Hold on. Are you talking about the console that is in front of you?
Either it is console or listen.
We are watching Amir's screen. He has a domain. He has a cluster. Why don't you put forward your question with regards to that particular environment?
So I see right now in front of me in Amir's screen, we have how many managed servers running? MS1, 2, 3, 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're supposed to be, they are showing they're running, the deployment shows it is active. So it's supposed to be all running well and good. But when I hit the application, I see, for example, I deployed version 2, but when I hit my application, it still shows version 1. So my guess here is, okay, out of this 4 managed server, my application is served by one of the managed server, and maybe the deployment on that managed server is not good. So I want to redeploy only on that managed server where the page was served from, and it's still complaining it is older version.
Okay, and let me ask you a few questions. Does your application has that tag in the WebLogic.xml that forces it to be deployed to a cluster, yes or no?
Yeah, it is a clustered, as I said, it is a clustered, everything is all set. It is a clustered application.
Right.
All servers are managed.
All right.
So,
So,
with the thought that we have all the setting in
yes.
advance, and we do it every day. It works every day. But
No. You will have to redeploy the application to the entire cluster, not to a single server. It will not allow you.
Okay, yeah, that was my question. Okay, and now there was another question about. So basically, you're saying if it is clustered away, you can just deploy to one of the managed servers. So I understood that answer. But I was thinking I could do it, and I was going to,
Listen, Ganesh. If your hands are very much tied and you're not allowed to deploy it to a cluster for some reason, you can still get the application updated on that managed server which is causing an issue. If you have identified that managed server, okay, that this managed server has a bad deployment. So what you can do is, Amir, click on the managed server 1. For example, MS1 has a older version of the application, right? And it is part of the cluster. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So click on, no, deployments. Go to deployments. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Go to the deployments on the left hand side. Okay. Select the application. No, select. I'm not asking you to click. Checkbox is there. Okay. First, let me tell you one more thing. Okay, click on the application. First, I'll show you that way. Click on the application. Okay, you see targets. Yeah, now it is targeted to the cluster with all the 3 servers, right?
Yeah.
Say lock and edit.
Okay, we can do this, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Just try. Save.
It failed.
Why?
Set to replicate it to HTTP session.
So you guys understood. Ganesh, did you understand that the WebLogic.xml, the server read the WebLogic.xml, and hold on. The server read the WebLogic.xml, and it saw the replicated tag. Okay, and it did not deploy to a single server in a cluster. Does that make sense?
It does.
yes,
Okay.
yes. It
No,
does.
no,
Okay.
yeah. But if you still want to fix that deployment, what you can do is, I'm suggesting you something. Shut down the managed server 1. Okay, and change the temp directory, TMP, cache directory, and the stage directory. Just rename it. When you restart the server, it will create a new. If this is a stage deployment, if it is a no stage deployment, also no problems. When you restart the server and you have cleaned the cache, you have cleaned the temp, which means you have moved those folders, it will deploy a fresh set of application on that particular server. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes. I think I did that. Yeah, I did that too.
Got the point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys. So
There was another
Anyway,
question
just,
about there was another question about JAAS. I believe that's Java. AA means authorization and authentication. Java authorization and authentication service.
okay.
So that file was missing, and it was not letting me log into the application. So I found one of the managed server had that file, and another managed server was not having that file. And somehow I figured that out from the error that, okay, there is a JAAS, either that is missing, or there is a policy file inside. It was pointing to a policy file inside that JAAS file. So that policy file was also not there, like whatever the path it says, /resource /something something, and then role.policy. So do you have any idea about this config file, your application name _JAAS.config file? Do you have any idea about that file?
I think this is to do with external or customized authentication that you want to do at the application layer. So this is something not default by WebLogic, but you are saying, WebLogic, you do not authenticate. I will have my own encryption algorithms and stuff like that, and I'll take care of the encryption, decryption, and whatever, security using, this particular technology or tool. So basically you need to put that jar in the application code. You call the classes and invoke the, features and functions of that particular jar to ensure security, basically.
So this was something external to WebLogic, and this is additional component for the security that has been used in our application like this.
Yes, you can ask the developers about it.
Right. I mean, we are not in development team, and they are not so easily accessible. So I understood that answer right now, but in short, how to go about it.
And
there was
yeah, what I was saying is, if you could put forward these questions, not right now, but if you can email it to me, then I would probably know in which class or at what time would it be more appropriate to discuss and pick up the issue.
Okay. I'm done with my question. I'm done with my question. There is only one simple question about sudo su -gyadov and sudo su -gyadov.
Ganesh, that's a Unix question, Ganesh.
This was like while logging to the Unix prompt, right?
Yeah, why don't you do Google on this? This is a Unix question.
Okay. I mean, I thought maybe I can just clarify because you guys use this every day.
Yeah, let's start the session for today now. Because you have spent like 40 minutes.
I mean, that's okay.
We have spent 40 minutes. We have spent 40 minutes on this question already.
Okay. I mean, they were relevant, right? They were not all relevant, right?
Yeah, it's okay. But we've already discussed that we will have the next session with all the practicals that you guys have done, and basically documentation around it. What were you finding, stuff like that, and that is where we can discuss about questions and queries that we have. Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we can move on.
Amir, click on the left hand side. You will find the persistent store. Do you see that?
Persistent store is under services somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm
okay.
here.
I need not say lock and edit. Go for new.
No, but it doesn't allow me to. It's disabled.
Man, lock and edit.
Okay, you said. I thought you said no, not connected. Okay. All right. So JDBC
I,
store.
I, I said you already know what needs to be done. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So no, we are doing file store first.
Okay.
A file store is basically storing the file. Okay,
Okay.
Ganesh. Okay. Choose MS4. MS4 is on which WLS1 or WLS2?
It's WS2, the one where admin server is running.
Okay, choose MS1 over here, target.
Okay. Should I specify a directory?
Yes.
Any particular directory or?
Any particular directory where you want the file store to be created.
Should I create a directory under this one?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay.
Say next. So Ganesh, whichever managed server you are selecting or whichever server you are selecting, you have to give the directory path wherever that server is running. So because it is MS1, Amir has to give the directory path of WLS1 and not of WLS2.
Okay, okay.
Because whichever server you are targeting, wherever the server is running, that is where it is going to create the file store.
Okay.
Okay, you can just restart the server and see if the file store got created, if a file got created over there. First you can activate and see if it got created. No, then restart and see if it got created.
Yeah, no files so far.
Okay, so can you restart the server, MS1? Just check it.
Yeah, still no files over here.
Okay, still no file. Okay, that's okay. Fine. Okay, now it would eventually get created, okay, when it comes in use. So
Right.
don't worry.
Right.
Okay, which are the two types of persistent stores?
File and data and
File and a database.
database. Yeah.
Okay, you can store a set of information in a file or in a database. We already did file, now we will go ahead and do database. Okay,
Okay.
click on, okay, yeah. Okay, hold on. You went to the persistent store and selected JDBC store for database basically,
Yeah.
and this is what came up. But I'll just show you, you can directly come here because there is a subsection given for it. In services, there is JDBC. Click on that below. Yeah. Data, hold on. Data sources. You see data sources? Yeah. Click on that.
Should I pick first one?
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
you can specify any name. Any name, that's fine.
Okay.
Give some reasonable name that signifies what database it is pointing to.
I have a database running on MS3. Its name is ORCL.
Yeah, I would need multiple databases. So I hope you have multiple databases.
Oh, I can create one in no time.
Yes.
Okay. So for now, this is okay, right?
Yes.
Or should I just remove
Give-
Should I just remove
Multiple databases or multiple schemas?
You can remove that. Listen, remove that. Okay, make it a single.
Mohatishi, multiple databases or multiple schemas?
Ganesh, like a socket is a combination of IP and port. Similarly, a database is a combination of IP, port, and schema. So if you change any one of them, it is a new database. So even a new schema is a new database.
Okay.
Okay, that's clear.
So it's ORCL.
Absolutely fine. Go ahead. Give some JNDI name. Try to keep the JNDI name same as. See, guys, this is no compulsion. I'm just saying for the sake of it. Okay.
Okay.
No, whichever database you have.
Okay. So next.
Oracle. Yes.
Okay. And
Okay, guys. Now you have two sets of JDBC drivers. One is an XJ driver and the other one is a non-XJ driver. Am I right?
yeah,
There are probably 4 XJ drivers here and 4 non-XJ. Total 8 of them.
that's true. Yeah.
Okay.
There's
Now, yeah, whatever. I mean, the numbers doesn't matter, but there is
Yeah.
XJ and non-XJ drivers.
Mhm.
What is the difference between XJ and non-XJ driver? You guys are JDBC admins. You should know that. Database admins, right?
I don't really know what's meant by these two types. But thin is used by the application usually that you access the database through JDBC.
Ganesh, any ideas?
No. I think I saw this.
Okay, guys, listen. There is something called as a resource manager. What is a resource manager? A resource manager is something that manages resource. Now, I'm giving you a example. Pay attention. Ganesh is sending 2,000 rupees to me. Okay? So, when Ganesh transfers the amount, 20 rupees of tax is deducted on this particular transaction. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Now, who deducted the amount, 20 rupees? It is the government. So where did this 20 rupees go? It went to the government database, account database, right? Government also has a database of an account. It went in there and got added up, okay? Plus, he has ICICI, right, Ganesh?
No, I don't know. I have Citibank account.
Okay, Ganesh has Citibank account. So Ganesh has a Citibank account which connects to a Citibank database. Government has an RBI account, Reserve Bank, okay, which has its own different database, and I have an HDFC account which has its own database. Make sense?
Yeah.
So what is a transaction? Tell me, what is a transaction?
Transaction is maybe one or more operations that you do on data, but it has it's like it has to complete in a way that it completes either fully or it rollbacks all of it. It's like a unit
Yes,
of unit, like a unit. It should work.
Unit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So a transaction is a set of operation that completes successfully or rollbacks successfully. It is not hanging in between. Half of it completed, half of it failed. No. If anything fails, everything fails. Or everything succeeds. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So in a transaction, now pay attention to my words. In a transaction, when there are multiple resources, when I'm saying resources related to databases, because that's the example we are discussing. In a transaction, when there are multiple resources, in a transaction when there are multiple databases involved, in a single transaction, when there are multiple resources involved, use exe driver.
Okay, so for distributed transactions?
Exactly.
Okay.
And when you are talking only to a single database, in a single, you can have a transaction where you are only talking to a single database, right?
Yeah.
You remove some and then you multiply something with something and then put that into the database in some other table, then read something else on some other table. But you're working with a single resource, a single database.
Okay, got it.
Then you can use a thin driver. You need not have an exe driver. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So an exe driver is used when you have multiple resources, multiple databases. And a resource, my friend, I gave you example of database, but a resource can also be a JMS queue. A resource can also be a printer that is printing something.
Right.
A resource can be a network drive, whatever, okay?
Right.
What is resource, by the way? Where the resource came from?
Wherever you are sending data to or processing data, it's called a resource.
Ganesh, you there?
I think he's on mute.
Yeah. Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So Ganesh, are you in a position to decide when to use an exe driver and when to use a non-exe driver?
Yeah, just now what you explained, multiple distributed transactions, you use exe, and just one database, use theme.
Okay, good. So go ahead and choose the appropriate driver, whichever one you want.
Okay, for now I will pick this.
Okay, thin.
No, the question I asked was, you mentioned about JMS resource, and I wanted to understand how that relates to these database transactions.
You have a single database, okay, Ganesh? But that you read some information from that particular database, and then you pick some value from a JMS queue, and then you multiply the JMS queue value to the database value, and then put that back into the database in a single transaction. You will have to use an exe driver. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, because JMS is considered one separate transaction itself.
A resource. It's considered a separate resource. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so I can leave this as is.
I'll give you a good example. Listen. Many a times you book tickets. I mean, in my country, you know, this is a very popular issue. You book the tickets, you make the payment, but you don't get the ticket, and the payment is deducted. Right?
Yeah.
So basically there is a CBIL tool IBM Siebel tool with Oracle. I don't know if it's Oracle or IBM, but anyway,
It's Oracle.
Oracle. Okay, so it generates reports. Okay, so they have some tool to generate the ticket actually. Okay, so once the payment is made, the other server, the other process which is responsible for generating the tickets is invoked. But because that particular resource is down, ideally what should happen is that amount from my bank that was deducted for the ticket should also be rolled back, so that the person who does not get the ticket also does not get
Charged for that. Yeah.
charged, yeah, and then he has to work out and report and stuff like that.
Right.
So here we see that, you know, something like generating a report is another resource involved
Right.
within a transaction. Okay.
Yeah.
So with this, guys, I think you understood the difference between an exe and a non-exe resource.
Yeah.
You can simply say next here. Okay, this is all yours, Amir. You know what needs to go in where.
Okay. Successful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So say you can say next.
Yeah.
Okay. Now it is saying this particular JDBC resource, okay, which will create connections to the database, you want on which particular managed server. Now, do you remember that diagram where I had the managed servers, Apache and a firewall, and the client hitting the firewall, and then coming to Apache, and then Apache forwarding the request to the apps, which is basically the WebLogic servers, and the WebLogic servers were connected to the database. This is where you are relating the WebLogic server and connecting to the database. You already got the properties to connect to the database. Now what you are saying is which servers should connect to which database. Does that get? Did you get the point?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can select.
Sure. Which diagram? Sorry, I may, you know, I can't recall which diagram we were talking about.
Oh, I may have it. Hold on. Not in this document. Okay, I don't have it. It's the big the diagram which has some blocks with red color and, you know, arrows going from left to right, right to left, and we put the Apache in between the client and the WebLogic server. Remember that? No? No, I don't have that.
Yeah, when he explained the Apache architecture, how the balanced servers
Exactly.
and,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
So there you would have remembered that the applications or the basically, hold on, I think I got it. Yeah. Can you let me share the screen?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, Ganesh, you got to remember this, man. We are not very up to date with respect to our documents. You know, you got to arrange this, keep it with you, okay? So it will be difficult for me to get you every time. But anyways, I happen to just simply pull it. So you can see it, right? So what we are doing is, this is MS1, this is MS2. Now, if he selects MS1, MS2 and says finish, that means this and this. These two, look at the mouse, these two will get connected to this database.
okay, okay.
Okay, if he selects 3, these 3 will get connected to the database, whatever. That's the screen where Amir is. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
Amir, you can take back the control and proceed.
Okay. Okay, we're back.
Okay, whichever server you want to select, Amir. You want to select multiple servers, you want to select a single server, it's your wish.
Okay, obviously I should not choose the admin server, right? Because we're not going to deploy
Yeah, see,
anything.
I mean, conventionally, yes,
Yeah,
conventionally. And there is no application that wants to use your database, okay? So,
right.
yeah. Now, for file store,
Wait a
we
second.
need-
Wait a second. When right now we are configuring which server the database to talk to. Now it makes sense that our application is sitting on MS1, MS2, MS3, and if database is right then and there, the application is communicating with the database directly because we configured these managed servers to talk to database. The application is not at all sitting on admin server, so how that question comes up whether we should have database on admin server?
Amit, that question is for you.
I just asked, you know.
What Ganesh is asking is, why did you ask that question?
It just,
Not really why
asked.
did you, but I'm trying to understand if there is any way, relation with, configuring admin and the database too.
Well, as Machim said, that conventionally we should not, but there's nothing that stops us from doing it. So I'm just following the best practice, not deploying it, not.
Yeah, man. I mean,
that, yeah.
yeah, you can drive the bike by sitting, the other way around, but nobody
Right.
stops you doing it.
Yeah. So yeah, I just asked. Yeah, it's okay. We can just ignore it.
Okay. So what I was trying to tell you is, for a file store, the compulsion is the path that you've given in the file store has to be. You have to target the file store to that server where that directory path exists. Okay.
Okay.
And that was a compulsion, right?
Okay.
But
So
for JDBC, there's no such compulsion. Okay.
Right.
Even if the database is on a different server, the only thing that is required is whichever server you are targeting the JDBC to, on that managed server, on whichever Unix box it is, from that Unix box to the Unix box where the database lies, there should be network communication. There should not be a firewall or a network glitch or any network issues between them. So
Right.
they are able to communicate, send, receive packets. So you can target any server you wish.
okay. So if it's a file store, that a file directory and the file has to reside on all of them, or just one server wherever we created.
No, I mean, if you create a file store and target it to all the servers,
Yeah.
then you have to see that all the servers would definitely be on Unix boxes.
Right.
So all those Unix boxes.
Can talk to each other. Okay. The connectivity. Yeah. Okay. I got it.
No.
Mm-hmm.
See, ideally, no, it's not about all the Unix boxes talking to each other. When I said target the JDBC to the managed server, I said the Unix box with the managed server should be able to talk to the Unix box with the database.
Right.
Similarly here, when you're talking about a file store, you're given a directory path. So there you have to take care that if you are targeting the file store to all the servers, so all the Unix boxes that have all these managed servers, that directory path should be present on each of those Unix boxes.
Okay. That's one the question was. Okay. Got it. Okay.
Okay.
But the file will reside, I think, on all of them, and it will have same contents, same everything. Is that how it will be?
Okay, the question from Amir is, if the file store is targeted to all the servers, will the file store in each of the server have the same file contents, exactly the same? The answer is maybe. The answer is maybe not as well, because I put forward to you a question. Who writes to this particular file store? Now who will write to this database?
Well, all of them, or whichever are the targets. No, whichever servers have been targeted, they all have access to it.
Exactly. Exactly. Now what Amir is saying, all the servers that are targeted to it have access to the database, right, Amir?
Yeah.
But will the servers want to write something to the database and insert any data to the database?
Okay. What I meant by
Simply-
what I meant by servers, that whatever applications running on those servers, they will have.
Exactly. So Amir, how many servers do you have? 5 servers?
Yeah, you can say 5 servers. Yeah.
5 managed servers?
Yeah.
Now, if I deploy the application to only one single managed server,
Mm-hmm.
make sense?
Yeah.
So, will that application write to the file store for managed server 1 and only, or will it write to the file store of all the servers which are there in the cluster?
Well, in this configuration, it will be only the MS1 wherever the application is running. But if it's
Right,
if it's clustered, then I don't know. I think then maybe all of them should have same contents somehow
No,
synchronized.
even listen. Even all the managed servers are clustered.
Mm-hmm.
Is the application clustered? Is my question. The managed servers can be part of a cluster, but is the application
Application is not clustered. I mean, application doesn't know about clustering.
right? So even if the managed servers are clustered, and the application is not clustered, the application is only on MS1. So will all the file stores be updated if the application is writing something to a file store?
Well, if I look at in the same way as database, then it should not. But you said that the directory has to exist on all the servers. That just got me a little bit confusing. Why do we need the directory on all the servers? If the file store is not going to be on all of them and synchronized at the same time.
Because see, so that's what I'm saying. That was your call. You wanted the file store on all the servers, so nobody can stop you, right? So you did that. Now,
Okay, I got it. Okay.
Now you may have one application targeted only to MS1, and you may have a second application targeted to MS2, MS3. You may have a third application targeted to MS4, MS5, and each of these applications would be writing to their respective
File
local
stores.
file stores.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Right? So the values in the file store will not be the same.
Okay, got it.
Also, if you remember, I mean, before putting this question, I would have appreciated if you guys would have recalled something that we discussed in the previous class. Did I not say that each server chooses a primary, each primary server chooses a secondary server for session replication?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Now if there was a single application, Amir, which is deployed to the entire cluster, make sense?
Yeah.
The session test application deployed to the entire cluster. Now there can be 10,000 clients, right, which are hitting this particular application, and they will be distributed like 2,000 on each of the managed servers, 2,000 on MS1, 2,000 on like 10,000 total, right?
Yeah.
Because of round robin basically. So they load balancing. So they will be 2,000, but each of the client will stay in this application. Some like you check your email and you log out, but I check my emails and stay on my email for 13 hours. Okay. Mm-hmm. So the server which was primary for me had to do so much work for me, but the server which was primary for you was done in just 2 minutes.
Right.
So the session for you was a small session, just 2 minutes and you're done. But the session for me was a long-term session with different data in it. Your session had your username and password for Gmail. My session had my username and password. The data is different. The data is different. The amount of data is different. Okay, for 2 different sessions. So and for you MS1 was the primary managed servers, MS3 was the secondary managed server. For me, MS5 was the primary managed server and MS2 was the secondary managed server. Make sense?
Yeah.
So how do you expect? So all this, what we did was basically session replication was in memory, which is default. But today or tomorrow in the next class, or maybe down the line, we'll do an assignment where we'll have the
Session replication.
the file store. The session replication will not happen in memory, but it will happen in a file store.
Okay.
Or it will happen in a database. So do you think it will be same across all servers? Because MS1 has your session and your session is different than mine session.
Yeah.
And
So
MS1, so you see all the data is so different. So how
Yeah.
do you expect the file store or the database store to remain the same across? It could not.
yeah. Okay. I understand now. Thank you.
Even if the application is deployed to a cluster.
All right. Yeah. Understand now.
So if you are, even thinking about
simple. Moderation.
hold on. Let me just complete. Okay, so even if you're thinking about if a file store on a particular server is lost, let me just put the file store on some other servers. That will spoil your life. Okay, it does
Right.
not happen that way.
Right. I understand now. Thank you.
Ganesh, go ahead with your question.
Okay, simple question. We're talking about our application needs the way to write the persistent data. Either that can be written in the database like RDBMS Oracle database, or that data can be written in files, and those can be a file directory. It can generate the files and write the data in files.
Right.
Right? So it will, we always, right now, the more common scenario, we always have one or two deployments, and then each deployment is considered a separate application. Every application has its own database or has its own file store, and all we need to configure here is our application is sitting on
Ganesh, I'm sorry to interrupt, and the reason I'm interrupting is I hope you'll understand. Whenever you go off the track or you say something that may not completely make sense, because that will entangle you more, okay, when you move forward. Two applications can use the same file store. You said each application file store, but I just wanted to make you aware that two applications can use the same file store. There's no harm in it. Okay, now you can proceed.
Okay. So either two applications can use same database, or they can have their own schemas and they write in their own schemas, or in a way their own databases.
Mm-hmm.
So they need the way. Now these two applications are deployed on 4 managed servers. They need the way to talk to either a database or either a file store.
Mm-hmm.
So all 4 managed servers are going to have a common database. They are not like each managed server has its own database sitting there. They all, the more from the architecture point of view, the application has one database. The application is deployed on 4 managed servers. So they all should point to one database. Okay,
hold on. So if you remember that diagram, or if you do not, I'll share my screen.
I remember.
Okay,
you showed the web app talks to 2 web apps talks to database 1 and 2 web apps talk to database 2.
Yeah, so you are saying there's a single database. Is that what you're saying? And all the 4 or all the 5 web apps talk to a single database. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, right now here the database. So this web app. Now this web app 1, web app 2, web app. These are 4 different applications itself. So they can have one common database, or they can have individual databases.
Okay.
Okay.
No,
So
listen. The 4 WebLogic servers, I'm asking you, Ganesh, the 4 WebLogic servers are hosting the same application or different application?
We are considering a case all 4 WebLogic servers, they are hosting either just the one application, Web App 1, or they are hosting Web App 1 and Web App 2 common. There is no different case.
No, so but what you're saying is, be it Web App 1 or Web App 2, but what you're saying is Web App 1 and Web App 2 is deployed to all the 4 WebLogic servers. Is that what you're saying?
Okay, I think
Yes. They all managed servers are equally. Yeah, all managed servers are equally, deploying all the applications. So point of saying is, right now what we're looking
No,
at.
listen, Ganesh. If Web App 1 or Web App 2 is deployed to all the managed servers in a cluster, that means the source code or the program, okay, the code of the application, the Java code, the JAAS code, or whatever you said, right? So the programming, the code for that application will be the same on all the managed servers. Okay. Now
Yes.
what? Okay. So go ahead. Yes. So what's the question?
So right now what we are trying to do as this experiment, RDBMS setting or file store setting, we are just giving our application, we are configuring our application to talk to either a database or either a file store. Now we always, and then that with the way we see all the applications, it has to be a common, like if it is deployed on 4 managed server, that doesn't mean every managed server has its own database. They all should point to one database.
No, listen. Each managed server can have its own separate database, but what you need is the JNDI. I'll tell you what a JNDI. The JNDI of the data source for each managed server, okay, will be the same name. So in the application you will give the JNDI name like ORCL, right? That's what we gave.
yeah.
So what you will do is you will create a data source 1, target it only to manage server 1. You will create another data source pointing to a second database and target it to MS2. Create a third data source targeting to a third database and target it to manage server 3. Create a data source targeting to a fourth database and target it to MS4. And all these data sources, 4 of them, will have the same JNDI name DS1 or ORCL, and in the application code you will just try to look up ORCL. So when MS2 sees ORCL, it will use that data source to connect to database 2. When MS1 sees ORCL, it will use that data source to connect to database 1, because that's what we did originally. Did you get the point?
No. I think it was, I got confused.
Okay, listen. Ganesh.
Explain on this point. My confusion point is, is the database one same database that, all managed server?
Listen.
In my application, is the database going to be common or is it going to be different?
Ganesh, this will be answered when we, move ahead. Okay, let's move ahead. And eventually you'll come to know, okay, how it works. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, you created a data source and targeted it. Now listen, do one thing, Amir.
Yeah.
Just target this particular data source to a single server.
Okay.
Not to all the servers.
Okay, so I'm going to remove this and this, only MS3.
Only MS3, okay. Okay, a single server.
Yeah.
Now, see guys, I don't know if you guys would get confused. If you guys would get confused, I would want you to work it out, okay? I'll give you an assignment. What I have is, JSPs. Do you guys know JSP?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
So if I give you a Java code, okay, a Java file
Yeah.
Would you be able to convert the Java code into a JSP?
I can try, but I don't promise. But if you have any JSP already, I can play around with it.
I don't think I have.
Yeah, let's do
JSP.
it. I mean, if, when Muhtashim is here, if it is a matter of like, 10, 15 lines, we can do it right now.
Okay, let me just forward you the Java code. The reason why I want you to do the, it on the web app is to make it look more realistic. Because I see, some of you get a little confused at times.
Yeah, because because I cannot, doesn't matter my application is served from, 4 different managed servers. I cannot imagine a case that they are all writing in individual databases.
Okay, okay, we'll do that. Okay, hold on. You guys would receive an email very soon.
Okay, is that on a Gmail or?
You tell me where do you want it.
Or just put it in the document, the shared document.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah.
Can you someone of you ping me the link for the shared document on GoToMeeting? So
Yeah, it's open for me. Let me do that real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I put it already.
Amit, okay, Amit, did you get a new did you get a new credit card to sign up a new GoToMeeting?
Not yet. I haven't tried. I will do it after all our sessions today.
Okay, so you still have provision to use GoToMeeting today?
Yeah, today is the last day. So I will try doing it after this. Are we going to have a second session today?
We will have a second session, yes.
Yeah, so after the second one, I will try. If it works, then okay. Otherwise, maybe Ganesh will create another account, and then I will use that account to log in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, you have I've already pasted. Please check.
Yeah, I see it, but I don't know how to convert this to a JSP now. Should I just put this code in
Can you in short, can you explain what this experiment is all about? What this experiment is supposed to achieve?
No, it will be difficult for me to explain you. It will be too, what do you call, abstract for you to get that. Okay, let's convert it in JSP, and then we will. We will discuss.
Why, since you have the Java class, why it can be a Java class? Why it has to be a JSP?
Just to make you guys understand, it will make more sense for you.
Okay, Muhtashim,
because a Java code will run as a standalone, so but a JSP will run as an application deployed to a WebLogic server. That makes sense.
Okay. Okay.
If I enclose it in these tags, is that gonna be converted into JSPs? I don't remember.
My friend, okay.
I don't really remember.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work this way.
Okay.
Let me see if I did make a JSP for the, but I don't have it. You will have to write that import command.
It's been a while. I did this last time.
Import. Just let me do this.
Okay. I mean, if it's going to take, I thought it was like quick. That's why I suggested let's do it right now. But if it's going to be if it's going to take our half an hour just to create JSP, then we can take this as a offline thing.
No, we'll try to get the JSP, because once you get done with the JSP, there's much more we can do. Okay, for today's class. Otherwise, this will be a roadblock basically. Packages. Amir,
Yes.
I have updated the document. If you move right at the bottom, you will find an import, just for example. Okay, so just import all the classes that way.
Ganesh, there's a lot of noise from you.
Oh, I put on my headphone. Oh, okay, that's creating noise.
Okay, so
Noise, right? Okay, so something wrong with my headphone. I don't know. Okay.
So if I put this line at the top,
Yeah, at least Amir, move ahead with importing all the classes. We'll figure out where to put up and down later, but just get the code ready. Okay, just import all these packages in there. Yeah, the packages.
okay, and should I put it on WS2
No,
or 1? Or?
First, just write them in a notepad here.
Okay.
And okay, Amir, I did not like that question. You know where it needs to be kept.
No, I'm just asking you, does it matter which server I put the stuff on? It has to go...
It does matter.
So
It does matter a lot.
Yeah, so it has to be
it
part
will
of some application.
It will be part of the application.
Yeah,
JSP
so
Of course.
part of the application that will be deployed.
I know. What a question is that then how would I recreate the WAR file, or I need all the stuff.
Yeah, we will.
No, but my friend, Amir.
Yeah.
Amir, why do you need the WAR file, man? I told you to deploy it as an app folder, right? I think you deployed it as a folder only.
Okay, all right. Okay, so here it is, and should I? Okay, let's go to the top.
Okay, and whatever is the Java code needs to be in the braces. Amit, there's a link again at the bottom which I want you to open and just see the format of how it should look like.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have an HTML, you have a body, and then you got all those imports, and then you got the font, and then you wherever the Java code comes in, you have to put that tag %.
So this is all this is all Java code.
Yeah, first remove that import and put our import, the way it should be. Remove that import line and put our import.
Okay. Okay, here we are.
And remove that Java code. Yeah, remove that Java code. Don't remove that. Don't listen. Don't remove that percentage. You know, but just remove after the percentage. Whatever. Yeah, and now paste the Java code that we have. I think that's how it starts. Yes.
Can you throw some of your...
Listen, Amir, why are you selecting the import again? And you don't need the main method also, just public final static. Yeah, start from there. Yes.
Okay, one of the suggestion is just to save the time, if you know what change needs to be done to convert this in JSP, and if you think you can do it quickly, let's do it that way. Otherwise, I have no problem. I mean, if we have time later, I'm going to keep on doing it. There was second thing I wanted to ask you. There was second thing I wanted to ask you is, if it happens, one of the managed server is not able to come up. We have a cluster of 2 or 3 managed servers, and one comes up and shows us running, but other is not able to come up. Can you throw some of the reasons why it could be and how we can pinpoint that?
Some of the reasons of why is it not coming up?
Yeah.
It can be any reason, man. You can write 100 reasons for that. The deployment got corrupted, the file got corrupted,
Wait. When you say deployment got corrupted, that means if there is a wrong or bad deployment, the server will not show as running?
Yeah, it will not move in the running state. Yes.
Okay. Because we were, even without any deployment, we were able to start the servers, but that start, there was no deployment at all.
Yeah, so what's the problem? I mean, deployment would cause the server not to start if it has any issues. Okay.
So that could be one. So in that case, we can just redeploy and try to see whether the server starts up.
Ganesh, I think the reason for the server not coming up should be in the log file. So just look at the log file and figure out.
Basically, yes, it's a log file that.
Like it's a very open question, and there's no one answer to it.
Okay. And then that log file will be under the stage or the managed server stage directory?
We're talking about the managed server that didn't start, right? So it has to be it has to be managed server log file.
Okay.
Why are you saying the stage directory or some other directory? You should know where the log files are.
Yeah, it will be the managed server home. Right, we discuss managed server home, right? It will have the managed server name, which will have log folder, and the log folder will have the directory. But anyways, Ganesh, the log file is customizable. You can give the log file at any location you want. Nobody has stopped you. We just, in the beginning of today's session, we saw that we can give the path to the log file as well, right there. Okay.
So should I paste this all this code here? And
yes.
Okay.
Yes, please.
And what about the rest of the code? Should I just leave it here like this?
Yeah, no, remove it. Remove the rest of the code. You don't need that.
All of it, right?
But just be aware of the brackets. Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
Muhatashim, is there a way to find out from WebLogic? I have 2 or 3 existing deployments. Before I do new deployment, say I have version 1 deployed already, and now I want to deploy version 2. So for that, first I have to go and delete the version 1 file and deploy version 2. So how does WebLogic gives me some APIs, some WLSD that tells me what is currently deployed, what is currently active, so that I can undeploy that first before I try to redeploy something else?
I mean, what do you want to check? I mean, what is deployed, as in what you want the application name that is deployed?
Yeah, I mean, basically part of our deployment is we delete the existing file and then we deploy the new file.
Okay.
If we are doing it from the script, and if there is existing deployment, we don't want to disturb if there's more than one application deployed. We just want to go and undeploy the one we are interested in, not like if there is more than one. My question is,
yeah, so you say, listen, so in the undeploy you will give the application name that you want to undeploy.
right, but I don't know, this is a dynamic script, I don't know what is currently deployed.
You don't know what is deployed on the admin on the WebLogic server?
Right,
Is that what
and
you're
then
saying?
I mean there could be more than one or two applications. First I want to find out, what is currently deployed, and then I will compare in my dynamic script.
Listen, you can just go on the deployments in the WebLogic console and look at the name of the application, right?
No, we are talking about a dynamic script.
I understand that, but are you saying, I deploy something in the WebLogic server, I don't show you the console as well, and the script should automatically understand what was the new application that was deployed and automatically undeploy it?
No, the task is we want to deploy version 2. Now before we deploy version 2, we want to undeploy version 0 or version 1. We don't know what version is sitting on that server right now. Is it version 0? Is it version 1? Is it version 2? So
the previous version, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and I'm more interested in the previous version's application name or application file, whatever it helps me to delete that file from dynamic scripts.
So what you can do is, you can give the file name as the version name. So what's the problem? I mean, like session test v1.06 something.
If I know it is session test, I can give you that. But what I'm trying to say, on my WebLogic server, under my deployments, there may be one application deployed, or there may be more than one application deployed. I want to first iterate through what is deployed out there, then match if in my iteration is there one of the application currently active which I want to undeploy. If it is active, I'll go ahead and undeploy it.
Yeah, Ganesh, why don't you Google for that? Why are you wasting our time on this kind of question? It's nothing to do with the code for you that we are attending.
Yeah, I mean, Ganesh, actually, see, right now we are into JDBC. So
yeah.
once
so
we have an
we can take it later on. Okay.
Yeah,
just stay focused on the topic, and then just stay focused on the topic.
Right.
You just derail all the discussion, and we forget what we're discussing.
Yeah, and anyways, Ganesh, let me tell you with respect to this question of yours. I'll appreciate if you can bring a real time because it's still very hard for me to understand why would such a situation occur where you do not even know the name of the application that you're deployed.
Right.
But anyways,
just briefly, let me take you another. It will take 30 seconds to explain you the situation. So basically, we have, like I told you, right? We do the deployments through some file name .sh, like a shell script file, and this is an auto deployment. So I say, okay, hey shell script file, go ahead and deploy my new version. But that shell script file first wants to find out what to undeploy. And there is more than one application running on our WebLogic server.
Listen, Ganesh, listen. The shell script can give you the list of applications that are currently deployed. You can get the application name. Okay.
That was my question.
Okay, you can get that. Okay, that's which application is active and which application is not active. The application status. You can. Along with the application name, you can find it out using automated shell script, using WLST or whatever. Okay, yeah. So with that you can do whatever you want to do with it. Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Amir, okay, Amir, hold on. What do we have? Public static. Okay. I think we are good, right? Amir, do you see any issues with this?
Honestly, I don't remember. This is it's been a long time I did this JSP development.
My friend, you will
So-
not have listen. You will not have a main method. I don't think there's a main method in JSP. There's an init method, but not a main method.
Yeah.
Remove the main method and the braces,
Okay.
opening and the closing braces. Okay, try catch. Okay, ORCL, that's correct, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, wherever you see system.out.println, just change it to out.println. Because, or you can just do one thing, copy and paste below, copy the whole line, paste below and just remove system from that. So it will print to the JVM out as well as to the browser.
Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, here's one more.
There's one more.
That's it, right?
Try to, yeah, but you have not imported all the packages, have you?
You said to remove everything. We only have this one, so.
Import all the packages that were there in the initial Java code that I shared. Yes, all these packages you have to import here.
Monteshim, do you guys do auto deployment? Like, do you guys use any tool to automatically deploy, like I said, a shell script, or if you have, 5 different domains?
Yes, we do auto deployment. Yeah, we've done auto deployment. We did it in the class as well, right?
You showed us like a planned deployment, right? Something like a planned deployment.
Okay.
So does that planned deployment allows us to schedule, like I will take this file and deploy it at 8 o'clock at night? Is that possible?
Yes, it will require Unix plus shells, Unix plus WST.
Okay, but the one you showed us as a planned deployment, does it have all these kind of settings or no?
No, why do you want to automatically deploy at a particular time when you are not present?
we want to automatically deploy, and then we want the system to send us email that, okay, check out this log, I'm done deploying it. And then,
You can automate it, yes, you can do it yourself.
Okay.
Take it as an assignment, okay?
Yeah, we have to, we have to do it for our work, so it's a real time work.
Yes, but you can do it in this environment that you have, right? You already have all the machine and everything ready, right?
Right.
So all you will need to know is cron job, basically, which Amir can tell you. Amir, you can help him with the cron job.
I already told him. I already did him. We did a session.
You already told him, right?
Yeah.
So with the cron job, just invoke the deployment script at 8 o'clock every day. So at 8 o'clock, it will automatically invoke the deployment script, which will deploy the application.
Okay. Yeah, that's a nice solution. Yeah.
Okay, so you have put this server URL here. It should be, this is pointing to the admin server. What should I put here?
Yeah, that's a good catch actually. You'll have to specify the managed server name to which you're deploying the application.
Okay.
I think you are deploying the application to the cluster, right?
Yeah, we can deploy to the cluster. Then what should be the server URL? Anyone, I guess?
I didn't get you. Come again?
If it's going to be deployed on a cluster, I can put one
Yes,
of the server, one of the
comma.
yeah.
Yeah,
Or-
no. After the port, give a comma and give the second managed server name.
Okay.
No, listen. The T3 is a one-time protocol.
I see.
Just say comma comma IP port comma IP port like that.
Okay. Okay, let me just check the ports.
This
I mean,
is
can't we give
this-
Apache URL there so it will automatically hit one of the managed server?
405 0403.
Amir.
Yeah.
Remember, this URL is basically for the data source. Okay, so you are giving the IP and port of the managed server, which has ORCL as the data source.
Okay.
You get the point?
Yeah. ORCL is running on a totally different server which has nothing on it. There's no managed server on it. WLS3 has the
No,
data.
that's fine. That's fine. But
Okay.
but ORCL.
The deployment. Okay. I got it. It's on MS3, which is not part of
Only
any
on
cluster. Yeah.
It is only on MS3.
Yeah, because that's what we did. We changed it and we only target it onto one server only, and it's MS3.
No. But if you target only to MS3,
That's what we decided, right?
Yeah, we decided that. But I'm just trying to tell you about the
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Now you will deploy this application to all the three servers. Okay. Let me just draw a diagram over here and show you. Can you let me share the screen?
Sure.
Oops.
Yes, you are the presenter now.
Yes. Okay. Okay, these are the three managed servers, MS1, MS2, and MS3.
Okay, MS1, MS2, and MS4 are clustered. MS3 is out of the cluster. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, yeah. Anyways, MS1, MS2, and MS4. Anyways, okay.
Yeah.
Now, ORCL is targeted to which managed server?
MS3.
MS3. Okay, so let me erase this. Okay. Okay, this is MS3. Okay, now MS3 has something called as ORCL database, this one. Or data source.
Data source. Yeah.
Yeah. This is ORCL. And this data source helps establish a connection to a database, which is
So what we said in our JSP right now is every managed server has its own port that will talk to the database, own IP address and own port that will talk to the database, and that's what we gave it in the JSP right now, MS1, MS2, MS3, and database port number.
No. We Ganesh configured a data source and targeted to ORCL database over here on WLS3. This is WLS3, right? .com.
Yeah.
Okay, and we targeted this data source ORCL to a single managed server, Ganesh. Please keep this in mind. This is what we did. Okay. Ganesh, did you get the point?
He's on mute now.
You mentioned we have this .com, which is ORCL, and that is what we have. I mean, that database is already configured. It has its own schema.
Okay.
And right now we are trying to configure how other managed servers they will talk to this database.
No. From where did you get that? That's what I'm asking you.
In the JSP page, you gave 3 different.
Listen. The JSP has nothing to do with the data source.
Okay.
What is JSP? It's an application, right?
No. The JSP that Amir was writing right now, in the server URL, you asked him to give comma separated 3 URLs, and you were saying use the port number for the database that it is listening to. Or
No, he said
No.
the port number of the managed server.
Those are the port number of the managed servers.
Yeah.
okay, not the database. I got confused. Okay. I thought it was a database port number. Okay.
That goes in the data source definition.
Okay.
The port number of the database, look at the mouse, the port number of the database goes in the data source configuration. When he was configuring the data source, he gave the database port number here inside the data ORCL data source that he created.
And it will be same for all MS1, MS2, and MS3, that port number.
Well, that's a data source, Ganesh. Whoever uses it, that goes with it. That configuration or all the configuration goes with it.
Okay.
But currently we have only MS3 use this data source, because when we created the data source, Amir targeted this data source only to MS3, not to all of the servers. So this ORCL you will not find here, you will not find it over there, okay? So
if we have to, we can just duplicate it on MS1 and MS2.
Yes, we can. I mean, just open this data source and click on the target MS1 and MS2. What will happen is a copy of this star will come here and here as well, okay? So that all of them are able to connect to this particular data source. But we have not done that. So just talk what, let's discuss about what is there on the table. Okay. So now Amir, what we have done is we have this application. Okay, let me just draw the application, small application. Okay, the name of the application is session test. And this application is deployed to all the 3 managed servers, the part of the cluster, right? It's deployed to the entire cluster. Am I right?
Yeah, but MS3 is not part of the cluster. Yeah, you're right.
Okay,
session
but
test.
But session test has to be deployed on cluster, because we have given that if replicated, right? So we are compelled to deploy it to the cluster.
Yeah.
But you see that MS3 is not the part of the cluster. MS4 is.
Yeah.
Right? So in order for this application, session test application, to use the session test application to use the data source to connect to WLS1, where would you need the data source to be? Now you understand that the application needs to be on MS1, MS2 and MS4. The application cannot be on MS3. So is there a point of this data, so keeping this data source on MS3? Is there a point?
Well, some applications.
Even if you have this data source over here, who can use this data source? Nobody can, right?
There's no application on it.
Because there's no application on it, because the application is deployed to MS4, MS2 and MS1, which is part of the cluster. Make sense?
Right.
Make sense, Ganesh?
Yeah.
So what you will have to do is, you will have to take this data source and put it, let's put it on MS4, okay? So I'm taking the eraser again, I'm cleaning up this MS3 and...
Okay. So now we are moving onto a server which is part of the cluster.
Yes, because of the application.
And now we are saying, now is it, can we, to do it right way, if it is part of the cluster, then all the managed server needs to be configured with the data source, like this, whatever the configuration we did right now on MS3 needs to be on MS1, 2 and 3 because of they all three are part of the cluster, or we can just leave with, you know, MS3 right now.
MS4, right? No, MS4.
Yeah, MS4.
Sorry,
Yeah,
MS4. Yeah, whichever the, I mean the managed server which is part of the cluster.
No, you just
one server and just do configuration on one server and not rest of the two.
Oh, hold on. Right now we have understood that the data source ORCL is useless if we keep it on MS3. Why? Because the application which is going
not
to
there.
use,
That is clear.
yes, the application that is going to use the data source is not on MS3. Why it is not on MS3? Because it has session test replicated tag, which means it has to be deployed to a cluster, and MS4 is not part of the cluster. The deployment will fail if I try to, MS3 is not part of the cluster, so if I try to deploy it on MS3 it will fail. So one thing we have understood, that let's remove ORCL and put it on MS4. First thing, Amit, please do it. Share your screen and do it, and then we'll discuss further.
Okay.
Okay, done. You have deployed the
Okay. Now we understand that this particular application, session test application, will be able to use the data source ORCL, which is on, see, look at the screen, which is on MS4 to connect to the database. We are happy. Okay, we are happy. But do we want this particular application only to make a database connection on MS4, or should it also make a database connection on MS1 and MS2?
well,
That's your call.
Yeah, as an application, it should be able to connect from any server in the cluster.
Any server.
Yeah.
So that means that you will therefore need to target the data source to the other servers as well.
Yeah.
Which is MS1 and MS2.
Yeah.
Okay. Now once you target and activate, let me know. Activate changes.
Yes, done.
Okay. So let me share the screen again.
Okay.
Okay. Now what I want to show you guys is, see, this is what has happened. This guy, what's his name? Ganesh. This is what Amir did. I don't know, Amir or Amir. Okay, this is what he did. And this is what he did. Does that make sense?
Right.
Okay, and now he can deploy the application, and in the application he has mentioned ORCL as the data source JNDI. So and he has now mentioned all the 3 servers to use this particular data source. So all these 3 servers will also create the connection to their database.
Okay.
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 Amir, now you can try to go and deploy the application. Now, whatever you have made, just call it index.jsp and add to the existing index.jsp and redeploy the application. I think we will get failures. If it works in the very first go, I'll be more than happy. But I think we'll get failures, and let's see. We go to debug and fix the application.
So this is what I have done. I have this folder on WLS1.
Does it have the web.xml and all that hierarchy it has?
No, it doesn't.
So
okay, hold on a second. Where did all that go?
It also needs the WebLogic.xml, the session test, and all those things, man. Come on.
Okay.
You just need the old application and modify the index.jsp of the existing whatever you've deployed.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find out where I put it. Okay, here it is. So I'll just rename this one.
Yeah, just take a backup. Yeah. That's it. Just refresh. Just hit the application and see what happens. Just try to update the application or redeploy the application.
Is there a way to update without doing the deployment?
Yes, you can select.
Oh, there is a button to it. Okay. So what is difference
between update and redeploy? Update is basically without undeploying, it will simply override the files, and undeploy will remove and then put in the new files.
Okay.
Hold on. Amir.
Yeah.
Does the new session test application have the replication tag? Did you check that?
I can't recall where we were doing that last time, because
my friend, listen.
Yeah.
It shows you the path in here, right? On the console, you can go and figure out, right? If you go to deployment, click on the deployment, cancel. Okay, go to the deployments.
It's showing the path over here. Yeah, so that's what I was trying to find out, and I don't see it here. Yeah, I just see it. Okay, so let me just modify this one then. Okay. No, this one is totally different. Maybe I'm in the wrong.
Open the WebLogic.xml.
Okay, so I will rename this one. Okay.
Did you open the WebLogic.xml and see if there's a replicated tag in there?
Yeah, hold on. That's a good question. And sorry, the tag name was
Replication. Look for
My friend, I told you it's in the WebLogic.xml. It's an application. It's a server level setting, not an application layer setting. Clusters is something the application does not
yeah,
know
it's
about.
here.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
it's
It's
here.
here.
Yeah.
Okay, now please update the index.jsp and then hit the application.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. So bear with me. I was just out of touch. Okay. Yeah, last week was pretty crazy, so I didn't get a chance to do any. Okay, now let's deploy. Okay, it's been redeployed. Okay, we have some progress. Okay, so maybe a semicolon is missing, I guess, here.
Yeah, you need a semicolon, I guess. What is, look at the Word file, did I give a comma separator or semicolon?
In the Word file it was all comma separated, if I remember correctly.
Let me check.
See, yeah, it's all comma, but I think it's complaining at the end, so the last one I guess should be a semicolon. See, it's complaining. Why is it saying 3 times? Let me try this. I have to redeploy, I guess.
Can you post this JSP page once it is all compiled and working, so we all have it for practice?
Sure, yeah, I will share the code, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, still complaining about.
There is no semicolon at the end. Remove that semicolon.
Yeah, previously there was no semicolon.
And listen.
Yeah.
Listen, I remember, look at the Word file that I've given, man. It's import 1 comma second. There's no import comma import comma import.
Okay.
Just look at the Word file that I've given now.
Okay.
Just to finish, you don't have to say next. Just simply say finish.
Okay.
And if this is in stage mode, I don't think you'll have to even update every time. You can simply.
I mean, if it is in the folder, right? It is not a jar or WAR file, so it should be effective right away without doing updates.
Okay, so it's saying only final is permitted. So no public here, I guess.
Any final setting?
Illegal modifier for variable is permitted.
Maybe not static. I don't remember that. Maybe the JSP.
Static is, I think static mode.
It's permitted.
Remove static and final. Just say string. Remove the other static as well, my friend.
I think I redeploy anyways, right?
You'll have to, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Just to finish here, yeah. It's best to have that, those scripts that we wrote. Simply press the button, gets redeployed.
Yeah. No, I'm still complaining about this. Saying only final is.
You have not removed final?
I didn't remove file, I just moved the static.
So the error says only final is permitted.
Yeah, I don't know
Just
why.
remove the final, that's fine.
So maybe it's still referring to static and final somehow.
Okay, illegal modifier of a variable, only final is permitted. Okay, remove the public and the private as well. Public and the private.
Okay.
There would be a string variable they have defined in the JSP, my friend. If you look at the document, the link that I have sent you for the forum.
Okay.
But just try once and then you can look
Yeah, it just says string. It just says string and then
Okay,
that's
so
it.
there is no modifier to it.
Yes.
Okay, initial context.
Right. Okay, now it did run, okay?
Yeah, let me see the port
It
number.
says destination unreachable, which means that the server is not running, am I right?
No, hold on. It says 7004. Let me see the port number here. It's 5. Okay. So maybe it's, yeah, definitely it's the port number. Yeah. Children.
Hey, my friend, I want to salute you, Amir.
Yeah.
What is WLS3? What is WLS3?
It's the server where the database is running. Yeah, I know, I got it. Okay, so we deployed it on a cluster now, so should I just put one?
You can give name of any server, my friend, but give the right IP port.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
whichever one.
Okay.
you have deployed.
So can I put all three? Just for the sake of
You can
experiment?
put all three. You can put all three. You can try with a single one.
Okay.
This is something up to you.
Okay.
You do and you look at the results. You discuss. You question me. I'll appreciate. Listen, I still feel there's something wrong. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm not done yet. I'm just doing the port number.
Okay.
03
Okay.
and 04.
3, 4, and
03 and 04. This is confusing. So MS4 has 03. MS4 is 03 and MS2 has 04. Okay.
okay. Listen. Wait. There is.
Yeah.
You have WLS4 there. Remove that WLS4.
Why? Because this is part of the cluster. It's right here.
Is that running on WLS4?
Sorry, yeah, it's WS1. Right. Okay.
Wait, WLS1 is twice now.
Where is the quotes and double quotes and the colon gone? Can you explain? In the end, there were double quotes and a colon, right? Yeah, like in the top.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you sure about everything now?
Yeah, I think WS1 is on MS1 is on WS1, MS2 WLS1, 004, and 003 WLS2. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's deploy it again. And this T3 is okay? I should be HTTP.
Yes, it is okay and it is working.
Okay.
Refresh.
I did.
Yeah, it'll take some time, I think, But no results yet?
No. So it did come back, but there's nothing on the page.
Listen, wait. You may have to check the server logs and see.
How do you know which server to go to?
Listen, with the servers you deployed the application to.
It's
Yeah, but out of three, which one to go?
Anyone.
Yeah, here we have some exceptions. Okay. Unable to bind. No resource currently available in pool ORCL to allocate to application. So you have to create a resource pool.
Hey man, listen.
Mm-hmm.
Come back to the page. Do you find any output on the page?
No. There's
Okay,
nothing. There's nothing on the.
bring up the JSP page.
The code is here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Should I just put some out?
Come down. No, you have to put one out. Come down.
Okay.
Come down. Yeah. Hold on. Oh, system dot. You did not put an out there, my friend. Again, I need to. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's where you need an out. And hold on. There's a sleep there, right? Yes. Okay. Now please restart all the three servers. Restart all the three WebLogic servers.
Okay. I should. Okay.
The cluster. Restart the cluster.
Okay. Is there a way to restart the cluster from the console or no?
Yes.
I have to
Yes.
go one by one. If you go to
No. Click on the cluster.
okay.
Open the cluster.
Okay.
Go to controls. Okay. Select all of them.
And say
But shut down. But yeah, shut down and start. So, but Amir, if I were in your place, I would simply write a script to restart a cluster and simply run that script and put it in the alias. So wherever you are, just type, restart cluster and enter, and it restarts the cluster.
okay.
Now it says Amir 4.
Yeah, because there's no node manager running, so let me just do that.
Yes, I think you have that in the alias, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
You started the other servers as well?
Yeah. So the other ones,
Okay.
they didn't give any error message, so let me see.
That's fine. Okay, so
Yeah, it's starting.
once the servers are running, so you can just refresh the application.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, 4 is running. MS2 still running. Oh, starting. Okay. They're all back. Should I? Okay, no, it's okay.
So in restarting these servers, I lost the point. What resolution we put in place to resolve that error that we got from the database connection?
I didn't redeploy the application. I think I should have done that too. Because we changed the GSP page.
Okay, if you did not do it, I think you'll have to restart the servers again.
Okay.
That's him.
Okay, I think we are good now. You can share the application with all of us, and maybe just play around. Instead of three server names, give one server name, see what the result is. And each time you run the application, hit the application, you have to restart. Because what I'm doing in the application is I'm opening JDBC connections but not closing them. So what happens if you rerun the application or hit the application again, the old connections are still open, right? Only when you restart is when the, so I did it on purpose. Okay, I'll try to explain you why I did it. But anyways, when you are testing, you'll have to restart every time to see the new results. Once you make it changes, redeploy and restart the service. Okay, and once the server is running, just show us the output.
I should be able to try because one is running, right? So let me just try.
No, I don't want you to try that way.
Okay.
Because I want 45 connections. Let's see if we get 45 connections.
Okay.
You mean 45 managed servers?
JDBC connections.
JDBC connection, 45 JDBC connections, 45 clients should get connected via 15 each server. 15 on managed server 1, 15 on managed, because that is the default number of connections each managed server JDBC provides. I will discuss all those properties and stuff like that once you move ahead, but let's do a testing if the servers are running.
Okay, they are still starting. I think the status gets refreshed will. Okay, so it's starting. Okay.
Today I gave this guy Ganesh the assignment to start deployment at a particular point of time, right? Ganesh?
Oh, the cron deployment? Cron job?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Okay, see to it when we return today, you are done with the
But is that,
and any other assignments that we have.
Is that how, the real time, in companies people will do it?
Yes.
They will schedule something through the cron tab to get it deployed?
Yes, of course. Anything that you need to automate has to go through that channel.
Okay, you made some progress. So there's nothing after this. Maybe I don't know what happened.
Okay, this is the last you go, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So after 14, I don't know what happened. Why is it not showing the?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So Muhtashim, the main
Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Muhtashim?
Amir will discuss this. Okay, but
Okay.
what it is doing is correct. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, Ganesh.
Okay, so now I think we are at a point that we can go back and try to understand what this experiment is all about and what we did and what's supposed to happen and what not supposed to happen.
Yeah. One change, Amir, I want you to do just to give you a clue and leave you guys in a state of
Curiosity.
curiosity. Yes.
Okay.
Click on the browser. Come on the WebLogic console.
Okay.
Click on the cluster. Click on the cluster 0. Yes. And now hold on. Cluster address. Do you see that?
Pardon me?
Cluster address.
Cluster.
The third that
Yeah.
at the bottom. Yes. Yes. Okay. Give the IP port separated, comma separated of all the 3 managed servers here. IP and port of all the 3 managed servers, comma separated in the cluster address. You're not giving WLS. Why?
I only saw IP port.
Just give, yeah, no, give the
Okay.
DNS. Maybe we are sure that's working.
Okay. So 7103.
You have that in that Java code, right? Simply copy paste.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Ganesh, I'll make you understand all that we did today. So just don't, be in a state that we are moving ahead. No, we'll discuss this and then we'll move ahead. Okay. Or probably we'll just discuss this because with the pace we are going, I don't think you'll be able to proceed for today's session. Anything forward from JDBC. But anyways, activate the changes, restart the servers, and then run the activate the changes, restart the servers, and then run the program again.
Okay. I wish there was a button that says restart instead of stopping and starting.
Man, we make scripts, and that's how the real production
Yeah.
environment. That's what expected basically from you.
Right.
You have everything handy. You're really quick.
Right. Right.
And production is basically saving minutes.
Yeah. Okay, Ganesh, you keep referring that you guys use some scripts to do the. Do you guys not have access to the admin console? You guys not use it?
No, we hardly. I mean,
I heard
We
some.
have-
I heard that even I think even Muhtashim mentioned once that some companies discourage or maybe even totally disallow use of this GUI.
Right. We don't do it, but we are more right now pushing on to automation, right? I explained to you once. I told you that they gave me the automation work. Basically, they want everything to be automated. Like everything has to be done by the script, no manual intervention.
Right. So they're still starting. And deployment through a script makes sense, but deployment unattended doesn't make much sense at the time. If something goes wrong, you will only know when you receive the email and something went wrong, and you'll go and fix it. So I was just curious.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know why would somebody want to deploy application in the middle of the night and not know what happened.
Actually, I deployed my application last night. I finished my work 2 o'clock.
But did you deploy it?
I deployed my application at 2 o'clock last night.
Yeah, but you were deploying it like interactively, not through
No. I deployed through the
So
scripts.
exactly. So if something goes wrong, you were there. You can fix it. But if it's through a
Right.
script and scheduled, I don't know what's the point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but we want to have the, in reality, we want to have the script do the work and then just send us the log. And, if there is anything wrong, send us the alert so we know now we need to go back and,
Yeah.
get onto the servers and fix the issue.
Yeah. Oh, why is it taking so long?
Yeah, so the expectation is that you don't have to wear shoes and you should be in office. You don't have anything, you also have a script to do your appraisals.
Yeah.
Automated.
Yeah. I mean, I understand, automation, but I swear in my career I've never heard an automation where you want the deployment to happen at a particular point of time. People have done restart of servers, through automation.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But deployment, strange. Anyways, just refresh.
Yeah. That. Okay, still similar kind of output, but
Similar.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Can you go back to the console?
Okay.
WebLogic, go back to the cluster. Coma, right? Okay. Come down. Okay, advanced. Plugin enable wrap time. Okay, come up. Go to come up. Yeah. Go to overload and health monitoring. Both the tabs slowly so that I can.
See the overload tab.
Okay, go to health monitoring. Okay, come up. Hold on, general messages. Scheduling, can you go to scheduling? Okay, go to replication.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay, guys, we'll depart for today and for this session, and we'll discuss more on this when when we join back.
Okay, so what time are we coming back?
3 hours, 3.5 hours from now.
Okay, time in India
So
is
11 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night for March.
No, 11:30 for me.
11:30.
Okay.
And there will be what time here? Okay, so you said 3.5 hours from now?
3.5 hours, yes.
So 2 o'clock for me and 1 o'clock for Ganesh.
Okay, so I'll take a nap. I slept really late last night. I'll take a nap.
Yeah, we can tell that. Yeah. Sure, go ahead.
Okay.